Black people are tired of being a bank where everyone keeps making withdrawals and no one ever makes a deposit.
Hey guys, welcome back again to my channel. It's so good to have you. Thank you so much for clicking. When you saw this video, so I came across this on my FIP. Lots and lots of people are telling their Latino story, especially Latinos calling out the BS in their community. How racism has been a thing standing in their community for a long time, and how they things that they've taught them as kids, okay, and how it has actually matured inside of them for years. Every one of them have been, doing the same thing, and now some of them educating themselves and saying it's time to let go of some of these teachings that they have been with for years, okay, and so that the next generation doesn't catch up with it. Well, I'm just going to let some videos roll. Okay, let's listen to what they have to say, then we'll come back with the commentary. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and don't forget to give the video a thumbs up so that more people can see it. Credit to all creators on this video. So let's go watch, then we'll come back with the commentary.
Black people are tired of being a bank where everyone keeps making withdrawals and no one ever makes a deposit. And I want you to think about that. If that was your setup, would you still want to give? Especially for those of us in the Hispanic community, because it's about patterns that we've inherited and the harm that we've ignored. Me, myself, I'm Puerto Rican. I've seen how anti Blackness and colorism still show up in our homes, in our language, in our media, in our families. In many families, darker skin is treated like a disadvantage. When solidarity is needed, hesitation shows what's been internalized, and too many of us were raised to believe that aligning with Blackness meant losing something: safety, opportunity, acceptance. And we were taught the proximity to whiteness would protect us, that staying quiet was safer. So if we don't unlearn that, we end up repeating the same harm we say we stand against. So disengagement is not okay. What's happening to immigrant communities right now is devastating. I'm not taking away from that, and it does deserve compassion and support. But a good portion of that fear didn't come from distant forces, and it came from within our own communities. I've spoken out because I've watched people I know support systems that were never created for us to begin with, systems that weren't designed to protect us, only to use us when it's convenient. So while I've raised my voice, I also know too many that have stayed silent, or worse, they chose power. We don't get to ask for empathy if we're unwilling to confront the harm our silence helped protect. And contrary to popular opinion, holding each other accountable isn't betrayal. It's how we begin to heal. So, to the Black women and men that are saying we've poured into everybody and got nothing back, you're not wrong. You've carried movements, you've carried communities, you've carried generations without rest, without complaint, without question. And we cannot undo the silence that already has happened, but we can take responsibility for what happens next. I think people are not realizing we have way more similarities than differences, and we have more power together than we do apart. So look to your Black brother or sister, look at them and say thank you. And I see you. Simple as that. Strike up a conversation, get to understand, because that's all they're asking for: to be seen and to be appreciated for all that they do.
Why is the Latinx community so divided, especially in the US? Let's talk about it. Welcome to Anthropology 101. My name is Leslie, and I'm currently a grad student in anthropology. In this series, my goal is to talk about humanity, global topics, and anthropology. I've been wanting to talk about this problem that we have within the Latin community, and it really goes back to our dark colonial times. The Spanish developed a system called La Casta, or the caste system, which put people into racial categories or racial groups. This is what it looked like. So your value depended on your racial makeup. So if you were 100% European, you would be at the top, and then mestizo, and then native, and then mulatto, and 100% African descent. It was disgusting, dehumanizing, and unfortunately, it has evolved into what we call now colorism. Colorism is such a huge issue within our community. And it really means that the lighter you are, the more high you are, the more valuable you are. And the darker, more indigenous, more African that you look, that you are not as beautiful, not as valuable. An example of it is a lot of Hispanic communities think about this concept of mejorar la raza, better the race, which means that if you marry somebody who's lighter complected, your children will be lighter. And there is this obsession with Eurocentrism and Eurocentric beauty and standards in Latin America. That is a fact. It is prevalent in Hispanic media, like telenovelas, for example. There is hatred towards people who are darker complexion in the Hispanic community, unfortunately. Um, if you are more indigenous, if you are more Afro descent than in the Hispanic community. You are discriminated a lot by your own people. I have been rejected a lot by my own people. And it is because of colorism, it is because our dark colonial times. And we really have to talk about it and understand this. And I believe that by talking about these uncomfortable things and learning about it is what's going to have us have conversations and really understand each other. It is a beautiful thing to live in a diverse world where we all look a little bit different, where we all eat different foods, where we all have our different languages. It is so beautiful to live in a world like that. But unfortunately, it is not appreciated. And we need to make a difference by talking about it, by discussing it, and just having, like I always say, some empathy.
Racism in the Latino community is absolutely horrendous. When I was a sophomore in high school, I was introduced to this Salvadorian girl by one of my friends. The school that I went to for a short period of time, it was predominantly Black, Hispanic, and Latino, with Hispanic and Latino being the majority. When I first met her, she had long brown hair, big brown eyes, and red rosy cheeks. I took a liking to her. We're heading into winter break and we decided to get to know each other during that time. We talked pretty much every day. We went on a few dates. It was a great experience. During this time, we were sharing so much about each other's culture. She was telling me all about El Salvador and Salvadoran culture, and I was telling her more about Black culture that she didn't know about. Despite our different races and backgrounds and how heavily divided our school was, we still had a good relationship. After winter break, her and I decided that in the future we were going to keep our relationship on the down low. Only close friends will know about our relationship. At the time, I did not understand why we even did this in the first place. Why is it such a problem and a nuisance to keep our relationship a secret from everybody else? What's also strange to me is her family allows her to be in a relationship. However, she also wanted to keep that from her parents as well. Like I said, I didn't understand why, but I went along with it anyway. At this time, this was one of the most healthiest relationships I've ever been in because she genuinely cared about me and my well-being, and the connection was astronomical. A few months that felt like days has passed, and then the worst has finally come. Our relationship has spread all across the school, and in the beginning, people responded with positive feedback. Until the next day, an abundant amount of Hispanic and Latinos in the community was very displeased and unsatisfied with my relationship with her. She kept getting threats of comments of people saying that she should not be dating a Black man. He is Black. You should not be dating her. You should be dating an Hispanic man. You should be dating a Latino man. At the time, she did the best she could to fight for me, her, and our relationship. However, in the end, she was suffering from too much mental and emotional pain. Eventually, some people in the Latino community went out of their way to contact her mother to tell her that she is dating a Black man. As it turns out, despite her wanting to be in a relationship with me, her family was very racist and discriminative towards Black people. Her family was comparing me to Black stereotypes, ghetto, hood rat, a thief, made some other comments like Black people are beneath us, they are third rate, you shouldn't be stooping so low to date someone like that. Apparently, a lot of the people in the Latino community who showed disinterest in our relationship thought and felt the same way, but more on colorism. My skin complexion was a threat and a problem to them because they did not like me dating another Latino woman. There were some other Latino men who was very jealous of the fact that I was dating someone like her. With all due respect, she is very attractive, especially with the school that we went to. Her and I was forced to break up and we discontinued our relationship. But unfortunately, it gets worse. There was these two Latino men who was very angry of the fact that I was dating her to begin with, and they wanted to fight me. At the time, I lacked combat skills and experience, and these two Latino guys who wanted to fight me were boxers. I was put at a major disadvantage, but despite this, I didn't really have a choice because there was honor and pride on the line. Despite me knowing for an absolute fact that I couldn't win against these two massive boxers, I still showed up anyway. And I fought, I got my ass beat, and I lost. Granted, my Salvadorian girlfriend at the time had no idea about any of this until I told her afterwards. After I went home looking like a complete mess and taking a very honorable ass whooping, I might add, my uncle was there and he said to me, "Did you win?" And I said, "No." And then he said, "Did you learn something from this?" Absolutely. At that moment in time, after taking a very honorable ass whooping, I decided to learn how to fight myself. A year later, I took up Taekwondo, Kung Fu, and boxing. I still do it to this day, but this is just one of those stories that, once again, I've faced through a lot of colorism and racism, especially when it comes to my relationships and friendships. And you know what? Despite that relationship ending and getting my ass beat by two intermediate boxers, one thing I can say for sure about myself, at least I wasn't a bitch. But why bring this up now? One, is because it's one of the next stories I wanted to share with you, and two, I have been seeing so many stories from so many Black women, especially brown and dark-skinned women and men, sharing their experiences of racism and colorism from the Latino and Hispanic communities. And my people being constantly shamed and rejected because of our skin tone, because we are the Black people. Being constantly rejected and called ugly and inferior because of our skin tones is absolutely insufferable, and it can cause self-hatred within ourselves. So, to all of my beautiful melanated Black people, especially the Black women, please understand me. You are God's and Mother Nature's greatest accomplishment and greatest creation. You are the black pearl, the onyx crystal that shines brightly when the sun radiates off of your skin. The way your body touches the sand and the water that slides off of your skin. There is nothing more beautiful than that. From your hair to your eyes and your skin tone to your wisdom and your nurturing, you are the greatest reflection of Mother Nature itself. You are absolutely fruitful, and your potential in love is insurmountable compared to anyone and anything else. Understand me. Do not let anyone destroy your self-love or to strip you away of your blackness. Understand that you are the greatest that has ever lived. You hold values and attributes that even our ancient African goddess themselves has passed on to you. So please understand me when I say this. You are meant to be gods and goddesses. So become one. That's all I have to say on the matter. It's Onyx, and I'll see you next time.
Yes, more receipts are still coming out why a lot of people are turning their back on the Latin community during this protest. A lot of receipts, like a lot of people are dropping the receipts, right? Talking about how they were, being humiliated or kind of bullied while in school, or the whole rate to the thing that happened to this young guy. A lot of people have shared it. You have the two Latino ladies who talked about the whole racism in their community because they are actually part of that community and they understand how it works. Some of the words that they use, some of the phrases that they, use to quantify or qualify someone, who happened to look like me or, they saw as black, all of those things happens within that community. When Afro Latinas come out to actually talk about some of the things happening in their community, you wonder. Before now, I felt this whole colorism only happened with the Indians because I've seen different videos of Afro Indians come out to really talk about some of the things happening in their community. But I'm so shocked that it also happened within the Latin community, right? I am so shocked. Yes, it also happened within the black community. Let's not even hide that because this all happened there, right? If you check some of these movies that we watch, I'm talking about the African community right now, you'll be so shocked that sometimes these directors and producers, decide to uh, get someone, feature someone who has lighter skin than the other person, no matter whether the other person is so good at acting or not, they will prefer to use this other person. According to them, lightness sells movies more, okay? It gives a better texture on screen and all that. And guess what? It doesn't really uh work that way. I feel that most of the things that people are looking at for is quality and not just the fairness. But sometimes the whole rate to disease happens everywhere. Okay, let's not even hide it. It just happens everywhere. But right now, a lot of people have always pointed out at Latin community in America and how it has really eating deep into the community. And this is one of the reasons why it's as if people are like, we're not coming out to show up. Look at that woman, that Latino woman who went on live TV to talk about how, it's people who looks like me that actually came out to do, all of that wrong things on the streets during the protests. So how come you are calling other people without calling out your own people, right? So all these things are the reason why they say they're not coming out because they didn't come and yet you call them out. Imagine when they show up, a lot might just go down the drain, right? And this is one of the reasons they said we still not coming out. It doesn't matter how much you call us or how many times you try to gaslight us or even make us feel so excited about ourselves or our pride and all that. What matters is that we will not come out to protest alongside any community, especially when it has to do with the, Latino community, Cubans, and all the rest of them, right? A lot of people have actually called out Cubans, and I'm just wondering why Cuban? Okay, I would love to hear that in the comments. Why them always? I know majority of them voted for the current administration, but what else am I missing here? Let me know in the comments. Okay, your encounter with these people in the comment section. I'd love to read from you. Please go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up so that more people can see it. I look forward to seeing you all on my next video. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. See you next time. Bye, guys.